It's 6 o'clock. We're going to start now. This is David D'Arcangelo, CTFO's Global Marketing Advisor. This is day 14 of Keto, our Keto start. For the people who are with us and started on day one, with me, I have Keto Coach Adam Levy, and Adam is a 50K Senior VP with CTFO. He's in the field, taking the products, and he's coaching us all on a regular basis here, which just is an incredible benefit. So to have you, Adam, so welcome tonight.
Thanks, David. Appreciate being here, and I love talking keto. And tonight's topic is one of my favorites. I love to go out to eat. I'm a foodie, as you've heard on some of the previous videos, and we're going to cover a little recap as well. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, so let's go back. What did we do with this? Is the third interview training. And so let's go back. What did we do on the first one, Adam?
Well, first of all, we did a little bit of an introduction, and it was kind of a rant on going keto, but it was really free flowing, and you asked a lot of great questions because it was kind of new for you as well as it is for a lot of people looking at keto for the first time. So we kind of did a nice overview, covered a lot of different things. On the second one, we got into a lot more detail on the products and really the mechanics of how it works. The key to it is this is just 14 days to a lighter you that we have, and you can access right in your back office. This is an outline for the program, and it's got food lists and incredible extreme shake recipes. And really the bottom line is controlling blood sugar is the key. Okay, that's what we really talked about. And if you can do that by lowering your carbs, it'll also reduce your cravings. And if you can do that, say less than 40 net carbs a day, you're really going to remove the physical addiction to carbs so that you can actually succeed reaching your goal weights. The reason why most people fail is because they don't remove that physical addiction. They try to, lose weight in other ways. And so by doing this, by actually getting rid of the physical addiction, then you can negotiate with your own mind about those other addictions that we talked about.
Yeah, and everybody, we will cover that tonight because I love tortilla chips, crackers, and all the nuts and everything. So as Adam, we're going to dig down deep, because if you can break those habits, which I've been trying to do, and I'll talk about my frustrations, and you have yours, but to me, it's worth it to burn fat for fuel and experience that type of energy and that type of focus and that type of concentration. Is, look, this body works for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the other way around. I'm going to get the most out of it. I want to fuel it right. And if you're telling me that I can burn fat for fuel and it's an experience like I've never had, then I'm going for it. And I think that's what a lot of our listeners are doing tonight. So today is day 14. This is the third time we've had Keto Coach Adam on. This is the 14 days, Adam wrote 14 days to a lighter you. So let's check in with Adam on day 14. What should we be talking about, Adam?
Well, listen, on day 14, people are noticing things. They're noticing their clothes fit a lot better. The needle on the scale has moved. Maybe they've lost 5, 10 pounds even. Which is probably the most rapid weight loss they've ever experienced trying to lose weight in their life. And so that's one of those aha moments that people have when they cut out the carbs, they get it to 40 net carbs a day or less. They do it for a consistent period of time without cheating. That's key, okay? And if they can do that, they get to notice those things. The other thing they'll notice is a clarity of mind. The brain fog lifts. And they're thinking clearer than they ever have before. They have a lot more energy because the switch turns on their metabolism, and you become a fat burner as opposed to a carb burner. Your body chooses fats for energy as opposed to carbs. And when that magic happens, and you can make sure you have those spaces in between meals, 3 to 4 hours between meals, during those breaks, your body still needs energy, and it's going to go over and go after those fat reserves that you have for energy. You know, the ones on your butt, on your stomach, on your legs, right? That's what we're trying to access. And if you don't get yourself into a state of ketosis like that, it's going to be hard to access those And so that it's like magic. It really is like body sculpting once you really get into it.
So you're just cutting. So as my wife said to me, she goes, "You mean I don't have to cook the potatoes anymore, or I don't have to cook the spaghetti?" And having grown up Italian, and until I left for college, I ate spaghetti every day. We had it every day. It was the cheapest thing in town, and my mother was the best at it. So all this life. So what I learned, I can tell you this, and people will empathize with it, is okay. So I can have a great meal at breakfast, great meal. It's kind of like proteins and vegetables and proteins and
Fats.
good food
Fats in
and
there.
good fats. And
Yep.
but then what happens is if I run into 2 hours later, I run into this, and this is to me the nitty details. The difference between good and great for me is okay. So I kept going to the closet for the crackers and the chips. I'm a tortilla chip fanatic.
Right.
And believe that they're okay for me, you know, and I got the crackers, I got the nuts, and I got everything. And then I started looking at the carbohydrates on it, and then I got a Gatorade. And the even the low calorie one that was 40 calories had a bunch of carbohydrates in it. So I was like, I wanted to throw it out the window, which I didn't. So everybody's after me to trick me. And then I texted you, and I said, Adam, what do you eat? Because if you can solve that, this is easy. The weight comes off, the fat burning machine heats up. I turned to you. What did you tell me to do?
Look, you have to clear out the cupboards of the stuff that is not going to support your weight loss. We went over this on the last call, all the different low carb snack items and things you can find, the macadamia nuts, the pumpkin seeds, there's some great
extreme shake.
Obviously the extreme shake, right? I'm talking about the keto creamer and the extreme shake. I mean, those are obviously some of the most convenient go-to low carb meal solutions. And I think that that's one of the reasons why this works for so many people. I mean, I've got a friend, Otis, who's one of our leaders in the business, and he's doing 2 extreme shakes a day, and then he's doing a keto meal at night. And he's lost, a dozen pounds in the last, 20, 30 days.
Wow.
And he's loving the food that he's eating. He's loving the way he feels. And you've got so many other people that are reporting incredible results as well. So it's just really a matter of, cutting out the carbs, having the go-to convenient items that we offer, the Ultimate Multi, of course, having a good foundation so that you don't have stress and you have great sleep quality. Cell-UV is really good for that as well. Otis was also mentioning to me, since he's been taking Cell-UV, doesn't have to take a nap in the afternoon anymore.
Are you coaching Otis, the wonderful Otis who I see on Facebook driving in a car?
That's right.
Like
Otis in the Z. That's right. Otis in the Z.
And he gives me the word for the day. I'm listening to him. I love the man. I comment on his website. When I met him for the first time, he is just a very special
individual.
I know his keto coach.
Great leader and great friend of mine. But I love it when I see people that I've known for a long time that all of a sudden they double down on keto and they say, I'm going to do it this time. And he's doing it, and it's changing his life, and it's really making a huge difference. So it's exciting. One of the things I wanted to bring up, Dave, that we didn't cover in the last one, it's important that you be all in. If you're going to go keto, if you're going to go for that 40 net grams of carbs, you want to, before you add a lot of new fats and stuff, you want to make sure you're going to do that 40, okay, or less, because the worst combo for you is high carb and high fat. That's a terrible combination. It's what a lot of Americans do today. They're eating a ton of carbs, 200 to 300 carbs, and then they're eating fatty foods on top of it. And guess what? The carbs barely get burned because we don't exercise enough, and the fats go immediately as stored as fat. So do the carbs, as a matter of fact. So that's like a recipe for disaster. So when you're adding more fats into your diet because you're now going keto, you just got to really be all in and keep that 40 net carbs or less so that, you're really being healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. And I really am sincere. What I say to people is if you find a replacement for the carbs that you go to, you have to find the keto. The extreme shake is my best friend. I do 2 of those during the day, in the middle of the afternoon, late morning, and then I have my lunch. But then I'm eating proteins and good food, and
Sure.
even out the rice and the potatoes and everything, and that's okay as long as I know I got something to go to. And I start my day with the keto creamer, which it just takes the edge off. It just it helps my brain function.
Gives you a lot of energy too in the morning.
Yeah.
It satiates you. All those MCTs, they satiate you throughout the whole morning, so you can make it to lunch. So yeah, that's a big one. But
So take us to eating out on keto.
excellent. This is one of my favorite topics. And when I first started this, it was about 6 years ago, and I said I'm going to give this keto thing a try. But here's the deal. For me, I'm a foodie. I like to go out to eat. I like to cook. Okay. If I could not eat well doing keto, I was just going to be fat. I was just like that's it. I'm just not going to lose. I've been overweight for all these years. For 15 years, I've been 30 pounds overweight. I'm just going to keep eating good. Right. That was my attitude. So it was really nice to see and discover all the things when you started to really look at it. So when it comes to going out to eat, picking a restaurant, this is what I tell people. I say, look, and I do this all the time. I look up the menu online before I go, right? So I want to look at that menu, and I want to see what the specials are tonight, if I can see that. Sometimes what I'll do, a lot of the restaurants that I like in the area, I'll follow them on Instagram. And so they'll show you what they're serving tonight, or they'll show you their menu. And I want to look on that menu for the possible low carb options. And what's nice is I'm also looking on the menu for just the things that they're making, because they might be making something that is a really great low carb option in one dish, and yet I'm not interested in that main. I'm interested in this other main. But I know that most good restaurants will do that swap. I'll say, listen, I want the cauliflower mash from here, and I want you to put it on, with the steak over here instead of the potato, right? So they'll let you do those kinds of things. And there's some restaurant choices that are obviously better than others. So I try to lean towards things like steak houses, which tend to have leaner and lower carb options. I was really excited to find on a great steakhouse menu something called the wedge salad. Now everybody's pretty much familiar with this very old-timey salad. Yeah. The wedge, it's a quarter of an iceberg lettuce. So I haven't eaten. By the way, before I found this, Dave, I hadn't had an iceberg lettuce in like 20 years, right? Because there's like no nutritional value there, right? But when it comes to going low carb, this is like the perfect keto salad, right? It's a wedge of lettuce, but then it's got blue cheese dressing, right? There's no carbs in that really. It's got bacon on top. It's got some onions and some tomatoes, and this is like heaven on earth, right? And
I would have thought the complete opposite. I would have thought it was loaded with carbs, the blue cheese. That's why you kind of
right. That's why we got to do it. So, and you got to know the numbers. So blue cheese, the blue cheese dressing. I mean, look, it's good to look up the dressing. I mean, not all blue cheese dressings are equal, but for the most part, it's a lower carb option.
Yeah.
And it's not something you got to tweak. It's not like I got to tell the restaurant to do anything fancy. So that was one of those things that I found that I really like. Mediterranean restaurants, Greek, Middle Eastern, those types of things. You got to kind of stay away from the hummus a little bit. That's a chickpea, and that's got a little bit higher, carbs. Seafood restaurants, you can do stuff there. Asian restaurants. I ask when I go to an Asian restaurant, there's a Thai restaurant in my neighborhood. I ask them to make my Thai basil chicken with no sugar. I ask. And, everybody's got a little different recipe, but usually they're adding sugars in there. And I always say, listen, I don't want any rice. Don't bring me any rice, right? If they don't bring it to the table, you're probably not going to eat it, and look, sticky rice is, that was like my kryptonite, at a Thai restaurant, with a Thai.
So what are you eating in place of the rice and pasta and
Well,
places?
I'm just avoiding. I'm just not having them bring it to me. So if they don't bring it to me, and they're not putting sugar into the Thai basil chicken, I'm just eating the Thai basil chicken, and that's fine. I don't need the side of rice. I don't have to have the side of rice. I'm saving a ton of calories. But not that I'm counting calories, but I'm mostly saving one of the worst carbs, the highest carb foods is white rice. It's
Right.
like way up there. Yeah. So
Okay. There goes the sushi.
well, time out. No, see, but I love sushi. So what I do instead is I do sashimi, right?
Yeah.
And when they do sashimi, they serve you that shredded daikon, right, which is the Japanese radish. So I use the daikon instead of the rice, and I dip that and do that like that. So it's again, am I still going out for sushi? I'm still going out for sushi. I'm just getting sashimi, right? So it's a shift. It's not a I can't have it. It's a shift, right? And that's the difference.
So you have to order like in a restaurant, so that you're full and you don't feel like, gosh, what did I come here for? You got to get that wedge salad, or you have to get that soup and something else, that fills you, so you feel you can function.
Well, listen, it's not even that it fills you as much as, look, by not having the rice, that's not a big deal. But in most like decent restaurants, I'm going to get a substitute. I'm going to get a side salad instead of that starch, or I'm going to double up on the vegetables, right? I'm going to ask them,
right,
what are the vegetables tonight? Okay. So my dish came with asparagus and potatoes. I go, well, can I get double asparagus? Right? I do it something like that. Or can I have asparagus and sauteed spinach? Or can I have, what? So that's why I'm saying before I go to the restaurant, I don't want to go to the restaurant and look at the menu and go, well, I guess I'm going to be out of keto today. Right? I guess I'm blowing that. I don't want to do that. I want to look at it. And so that's one of the things I do. Some of the other things I'll point out is restaurants to avoid pizza joints, right? Real hard to go low carb at a pizza joint, okay? There are some options though. Bertucci's, for instance, right? They have a great antipasta. They also have wings on their menu, and they're oven-baked wings. They're not breaded or fried. They're oven-baked. And they also have salads. So you could, perceivably do well at a Bertucci's. But most pizza joints, you're going to have trouble. There's usually dough everywhere. Sandwich shops, Mexican or Italian. Not easy, right?
So where do you go for fast food? What if you don't have the opportunity to sit down? How do I feed myself?
Well, I will get to that. Because there are a few trends that are going on in the market today. Restaurants that are open up. There's a lot of poke places, and there's Vietnamese pho is popping up everywhere. And these are some of the things that I've always thought, well, I'm going to wait till they mature a little bit, because I had poke once, and it was in Hawaii, and it was amazing. But all of a sudden in Connecticut, you're thinking, well, how good is it going to be? But I've gotten kind of excited about it. I'll tell you why. But here's the thing. When it comes to ordering at restaurants, and I'll get into the fast food soon, don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Restaurants and waiters and waitresses today, they expect different dietary needs, right? People are gluten-free. They've got all kinds of, celiac. They got all kinds of issues. So they're already expecting that. They're already ready for it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So I avoid options that are deep fried, pan fried, or heavily sauced, right? I go for things that are grilled, roasted, baked, broiled, steamed, poached, sauteed. Those are better choices. And I always ask for the sauces on the side, right? That way I get to taste it. If the sauce tastes too sweet, I try to avoid it because I know it's got a lot of sugar in it. I avoid anything with breading, right? So ask how it's made. I love buffalo wings, right? Not Asian wings, not, there's all the, those places that have like 10 different kinds of wings, right? Guess what?
Yeah.
Buffalo wings, right? What's buffalo wings made of? Hot sauce and butter. That's it.
Right.
That's all that's on it. Now, you got to make sure that they're not breaded, right? They got to be just, roasted. They can be deep fried.
Right. No chicken fingers. No chicken fingers. No breading.
So, here's another one. Rice flour, right? Oh yeah, we put a little rice flour. Rice. Remember, you can't do that. So, and so you can find places that do them we have a coal-fired oven pizza place. You get the wings there. They're amazing, right? There's places that do that kind of stuff. So I look for clean proteins, and I always ask to swap out the starchy vegetable for a low carb option. And, you know, I ask the dish to be prepared without any extra sugar if it's, you know, like a Thai food like I shared there as well.
You wouldn't have some visual photos.
I do. I'm gonna
delicious. This delicious food. Could you screen share and show me those photos that we talked about before we started today?
I can. I will. I promise you.
I just want people. I want you to prove it that keto can look fantastic, and you will get full. You will be satiated, and we meet again in 14 more days, which will be 28 days from the time we started. We'll get more and more people on the keto train, and we're going to be lighter and lighter, but we're going to love the food. So I have to see.
I promise you before we finish, I will show those to you. But here's the thing. We've got, you asked about fast food. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about on-the-go options. So on-the-go options, breakfast. You're out at breakfast, omelets are fine, right? How about bennies, right? You know, those bennies with all you have to do is hold the English muffin, right? I like corned beef hash. If you get a corned beef hash that has just like a few potatoes in it, not like all potatoes and a little corned beef, you know which ones I'm talking about. I have a picture of that. I'll show you. Here's another one, though. Any burger place that will do a garden style burger, right? Instead of the bun, they'll wrap it in lettuce, right? I've got a place by me, BurgerFi. It's a chain. I don't know if you got them by you. I know they're in Florida. BurgerFi has these really high-end fast food burgers. They're delicious, right? They're like brisket and Wagyu beef or whatever. It's a fast food place, right? And I used to go there, Dave, and I would get a burger. And I would get, they used to make these shakes. They make these shakes out of half and half. They're unbelievable, right? So I'd have a shake, and then I'd have a burger. And I think, well, I'm not going to get the hand-cut fries, right? That's how I'm gonna, you know, be good today, right? Meanwhile, the burger and the shake were 1,800 calories without the fries, right? And so many carbs. So I'd leave there, and I would feel like I have to take a nap, right? I'd leave there after lunch. Now I go, I get the burger, I get it wrapped in lettuce, right? It's a garden style. It's about 500-600 calories. That's lunch. Yeah. And I'm satiated, and I've got all this energy, and I don't have to take a nap afterwards. Yeah. It is an amazing shift, right? Absolutely amazing shift. Chipotle. Okay, here's another one. And by the way, there's a great app I'm going to tell you about at the end of this thing where you can actually go and look up the menu items and add things. But the Chipotle thing, if you start with a salad and you hold the rice, the beans, and the corn, you can go for the cheese, you can do the salsas, the veggies. If you want to add guac, you can. Right? You make a salad bowl, absolutely delicious. The dressing, though, 17 carbs in the dressing for that salad. 17 in just that little thing. Yeah, so I just don't do the dressing. I use those, you know, those salsas as the dressing, right? That's what I do. And so I can go to Chipotle. Poke works. So here's a good one. Oh, by the way,
Adam, we have about 5 more minutes. So
okay, I'm gonna get to those pictures. I promise.
Please.
So,
yeah.
But I want to go for these last 2 things. Poke works. You know, it's a poke place that just opened up not too far from us, and I went there the other day, and I got the, you know, the raw tuna and the raw salmon, and I picked out the things that I thought were all low carb, and I did a pretty good job. And at the end, I asked the teenager behind the counter, which one of these sauces is the lowest carb, or, you know, has the least amount of sugar, is what I said. He said, well, I think the PokeWorks Classic. I said, all right, give me that. And I go and eat it. Tastes amazing. It's great. Now I go to the website a few days later, and I find out that that one is not the lowest. Don't ask the teenager behind the counter about what the carbs are. They're not going to know. All right? So you have to know these things, and there's some great apps for that, so you can go and do it. But anyway, I do want to show you those things. There's a couple other things I wanted to cover tonight. Yeah. But I will share with you my screen, and we can talk a little bit about some of the things that we're eating. Let's see. Can you see them now, Dave? How's that look?
That is perfect. Now,
right, so that was dinner tonight. By the way, that was leftover meatballs from meatballs and spaghetti squash from last night. I actually made it.
No, that's not keto. That's pasta. That's carbohydrate.
No, it's not. That's spaghetti squash.
Oh,
That's spaghetti squash. There's very few carbs in that compared to pasta anyway.
wow.
And then I made some broccoli rabe with some sausage to go with it tonight. This was the second night. So, I mean, is it that hard to eat this? It's not so hard, right?
So
This
that
is
was
something that has a little
cauliflower. That wasn't pasta. That was what?
That's spaghetti squash.
It's spaghetti squash. So the noodles aren't noodles. It's squash.
That's correct. And I got to tell you something. Look, my daughter, Bryn, did an arm wrestle over the spaghetti squash tonight because it was leftovers, right? I'm like, hey, I don't know if we have enough spaghetti squash for all three of us. Can I make you some pasta? And she says, no, I want the spaghetti squash.
Oh, that's good.
Mom said she's not having it. I said, okay, well, that's fine. What 17-year-old is going for spaghetti squash over me making her pasta, right?
Wow.
She just knows, right? She just knows how she feels. She doesn't need to lose weight. She's 17. You know, she just knows how she feels afterwards, so she prefers that. So again, they're not too hard to eat. This is a salad I made with beets, right? Roasted beets, a little higher in carbs, but not so bad. You know, kale, feta cheese. There's some toasted walnuts in there. This is oil and vinegar, right?
Oh.
It's just delicious. This was a short rib I made with some cauliflower mash on the side. Short ribs, delicious.
So wait a second. So explain to people that's not potato.
No, that's cauliflower mash.
That's cauliflower mash. Where do they look up to make cauliflower mash?
But they can go to the everydayKetoGourmet.com. I got all the recipes over there. They can follow me on Instagram, Everyday Keto Gourmet. They can follow me there and they can see all these things.
So I think we were losing people until we showed the photos, because now you got them back again. All of a sudden the numbers started picking up. So everybody's calling people.
Everybody's getting
They're calling people and they say, wait a second, you can really eat.
Right, and this is the shakshuka that I share with you. This is like eggs in purgatory, right? This is delicious. It's got lamb sausage in it, and those are eggs that are just poaching on top. That's delicious. So here's the breakfast I was telling you about. So, you know, again, an Eggs Benedict, right? It's usually got an English muffin. There's usually a pile of hash browns with it. That's corned beef hash at the bottom. But look at that corned beef hash. There's like 1, 2, 3 potatoes in it. There's like hardly any potatoes in it, right? And so I get this. I tell them to give me 3 eggs, and that's hollandaise sauce. I say every day is a hollandaise when you're in keto. And you can put hollandaise on everything. And so, and that right there, that's, you know, I lose weight eating this, right? I didn't get the potatoes, and I'm eating like a king here. This is out at a restaurant for breakfast near me. That's a carpaccio of fennel, which is just to die for. I got a blog about that one. That one's delicious. It's just fennel and mushrooms and chives and Parmesan cheese and olive oil and a little bit of lemon. That's insane. Wow. That thing is so good. Wow. There's another short rib. Oh, this is one of my omelets I make in the morning. I call it the bomblet or the Godfather. It's spicy sausage, peppers, onions, American cheese, and an omelet. I mean, it's not so hard to take.
Yeah. That's just, this is it. You reevaluate. It's kind of like it's just like more what I'm used to. As long as I see something that, wow, it's eye appealing, it's appetizing, it's beautiful, and I know I'm going to get full eating that.
You're going to get full. This is chicken parm, right? It's chicken parm, but that's not breadcrumbs on there from like real bread, or I should say real bread. I got one of those Joseph's lavages. One whole sheet of lavash has got 12 net carbs. I blend it in the food processor and I make breadcrumbs out of it. And I made dinner with it, and I breaded these chicken cutlets with it, you know, and there's like 3 carbs and breadcrumbs on there. You know, and because of the type of breadcrumbs that they are.
Yeah. So Adam, let's kind of wrap up a little bit and just give people some perspective. So where we are today, day 14, or if they're just starting on keto, in 2 weeks we'll be back again, and just give them, you know, some, you know, the thought process and the game plan goals. Say should they focus on to stay on keto, and use the videos to encourage other people to join?
Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, we're really a CBD company for the most part, right? And that's always the biggest draw, I think, for people. So, but weight loss is a huge business. And here's the reality. You might get their attention with CBD, and that's what I try to do. But people need to lose weight, right? They all need to lose weight. And once you've got their attention, you can share with them the extreme shake. You can share with them these videos and say, hey, if you're looking to lose some weight, there's a great series. We've got a keto coach, and we've got a great series and a program with these shakes that go along. They're amazing. It's really affordable. And you might want to take a look at that, right? So I try to kind of put it in through the back door. We all know everybody needs to lose weight. That's, everybody gained the COVID-15 for the most part. So that you can just assume that. But you have to get their attention first. So once you've got their attention, once they're interested, and maybe they say, hey, I'm not, I know everything about CBD. That's another thing. You have a second shot, right? So if they're one of those people that goes, oh yeah, I tried CBD, or they think they know it all. Say, well, great, listen, we've got this amazing keto program, how'd you like to lose about, 5, 10 pounds? Or do you know anybody that would like to lose, about 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds in the next 30 days, right? Yeah. So you can always, fade back and punt, so to speak, and go a different route with a person because we have so many great options at CTFO.
So Adam, 2 weeks from today, would you come back and would you bring somebody and we'll invite one or two people who are following you, you're coaching at CTFO, and they can real life stories of, how they transitioned, how they work the meals. It's kind of like me, but I'd like you to kind of interview someone else or two people or however many you like, just so that everybody sees this real time and we answer the questions that are on people's minds who are watching right now. Because I just know that it's the beginning, and you got to find that point where, wait a second, now that I've been listening for a couple of weeks and I've been asking questions with you and then I text you and I know that, wait a second, this works because I haven't eaten the chips and the dip and the stuff that I would eat throughout the day.
And how do you feel?
And I'm reaching for the extreme shake. I'm making an extreme shake. And I'm done. That's really good. And I make it really thick, and and you learn what to eat, what not to eat. And it takes a couple of weeks to kind of go break old habits. But you have to be there with, no, this is what I eat, and this is the bar I chew on, a keto bar, and this is extreme shake, and then I got my Cellulite in the morning. I got my keto creamer is just the best thing in the world. I didn't even start drinking coffee till a couple of years ago.
The good news, David,
I never thought I would use the creamer. And
you don't have to do that forever. You don't have to look up stuff forever. In the beginning you do, because you don't know. You just don't know, and you don't know what the carbs are, and so you have to look everything up. There's a great app called Nutrition IX. And they have all these different restaurants, and you can add the stuff from their menu and see exactly what the carbs are. So you could build your burrito, well, not a burrito, your salad bowl at Chipotle online and see what it's going to be before you ever go. So there's tools that are available. And, after a while, you just begin to know. You begin to know where the carbs are hiding in plain sight, and then you can make better choices. But first, you have to become carb conscious. And most people, sadly, are unconscious. And we're trying to make them conscious so they can feel better and live better.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam, again, just at this point in my life to be able to learn, and I thought I knew how to fuel my body. I know how they fuel the jet plane with the highest, most expensive, high-octane fuel of all time. And you just go with it. But wait a minute, this machine is more valuable than any plane I've ever been on. That body, we're the greatest creation of all time, what we have. Why not treat it right? Why not fuel it right? Burn fat for fuel and have the most amazing energy and focus and concentration. And that body really works for you. So Adam Levy, author of 14 Days to a Lighter You. It's in the back office of the website. You go to your website, go into the back office library, click on library, then you'll find 14 Days to a Lighter You. Just get your knowledge up a little bit. Keep tuning in every week and stay away from the carbs. So Adam, thank you very much. And everybody.
Great to be here, Dave. Appreciate you.
I enjoy it. This is a fun one, and I love your coaching, and thank you and good night, everybody.
Everybody.